Dynamite, ladies and gentlemen. A very interesting show with some very interesting twists and turns. And someone jobbed that you wouldn't think would job. Let's be honest, he jobbed. And I'll get to that in a few minutes, but let's go through this entire show. Now, opening, Moxley versus Wheeler Yuta. Now, I've never been a big Yuta fan. Not that I hate him, I just don't feel like he doesn't have a personality. He really has no personality to me personally. Since I don't watch Dark, I don't know what type of personality he has, and I don't really have the time to watch it. So, Rampage, either that or Dynamite is the only time you're going to see a personality from Wheeler Yuta. But we don't see it on Rampage, so you got to see it here. Unless you're crazy enough to start looking at Dynamite, Rampage, Elevation, and Dark. That's a lot of show. I'm not doing that. So, as far as I see with Yuta, he doesn't really have much of a personality. Not that he couldn't have one, it's just they haven't presented it. Was a good match, but I knew the way Moxley went in there, the boy did not sell, the boy did not care. He just had fun whooping his ass when he could whoop it. And he did. Done. Finished. Whooped his ass. Until something happened afterward. And we got Daniel Bryan showing up. That'll be the image of my face. The segment he gave was one of the better ones I've heard him say. And he makes it very clear. It's obvious he's trying to not just motivate Moxley, but also use Moxley because he said clearly, hey, you done well since you came back. You've destroyed since you came back. You are the best AEW champion. But you know what? You could have had more if there was someone in your corner. Me and you. I've always wanted to have a match with you. Pretty much, he was saying, I always wanted a match with you before he said, let's join together. And he makes it very clear. We can be world champions. We can be tag champions. We can take a Wheeler Yuta. We can take a Garcia. We can take anyone and mold them to our image, and we can rule this place because we literally are the best this place has to offer. No matter if they like me or not. And he says this very clearly. It doesn't make a difference if they like me. They know what I'm saying is truthful. Me and you are it. Let's work together. Let's team up. And let's make this place ours. Because there's no one else better than us, including the one who's a blogger. In other words, he's talking about Cody. He made it very clear, let's take this place over. And you can see Moxley going, he's having those looks in his face. But he's not attacking Bryan Danielson. He's listening. So it's obvious they're setting this up so Bryan Danielson will probably turn once he gets paradigm shift from a Mox. That's what I think may happen. I could be wrong, and I'm kind of hoping I am, because this would be something different for Jon Moxley. He's come back gangbusters. People are cheering the ass off on him. But what would be interesting is him working with Bryan Danielson and literally going against what everyone is thinking, because since he came back, he has a different perspective on things, and this could be something entirely different. Now, it doesn't mean he ain't going to turn on Bryan Danielson eventually, but I'd rather him not turn immediately. I would like him to actually take up the offer, but this is just me, guys, send below. Now, let's get this part over with, because I need to get this over with, because I really don't know where they're going. Dan Lambert, and, well, at least at first, I didn't know where they're going with Dan Lambert, with Senior Brandy allowed him to fuck with her in such a way that most black women, and understand being part black, I know how black women and men to a certain extent act. And even though this is an act, that's going to get on their nerves a little bit, no matter how you play it. Even though, remember, she signed off on this. Her getting fucked with by Dan Lambert and saying pretty much, you know how to get in the right position, I'm sure you know how to swallow. That was how he was implying that mess. She signed off on this, guys. But there is no way on this green earth she isn't kind of ticked off about it. A little bit of real anger is going to be there. No black woman. I'm sorry. Even Brandy being a okay wrestler is going to take that very well. Not completely. And many people are going to say this is being sexist and racist, and Dan Lambert leads into that. Look, I am a white conservative man who's sexist and racist. Well, sexist. He didn't say anything about racist. Sexist and misogynist, whatever you want. He didn't say racist. My mistake. Sorry. But he makes it clear, I am all the tropes, and I know I'm going to be cancel cultured, but I don't care. I'm doing this. Brandy smacks her in the face, and the woman who comes at her, what is her name? Paige Mendez? I believe that's her name. Can't remember where she's from. I think I've seen her once before. Once. Paige Mendez. I think I have. I don't remember though. She comes in the ring. She just lifts up Brandy, throws her into a corner, and the entire female locker room comes out to keep them separate. I can understand Paige Mendez, but holding back Brandy, she doesn't look like she's the type that needs to be held back because she ain't strong enough to be able to push anybody away anyway. And I'm not being rude, it's just how she's perceived herself. I'm just saying. Now, the two segments with the Hardy brand, and I'm not saying the Hardy family, I almost said it, the Hardy brand with Andrade. It's interesting, but I'm hoping they'll get somewhere because it almost feels like filler. Now, Cassidy, I believe it's Isaiah Cassidy is going after the title on Friday, so the TNT title. So it'll be interesting. But you wonder where they're going to win with Andrade. Why are they still doing Darby Allin? Now, when they're going to start having a fight between Darby Allin and Andrade, will it be at Revolution? That's going to be the question. Now, the Gun Club attacking Luchasaurus and the Jungle Boy throwing his ass outside. Take his shirt. I think his shirt was already off because I just came back from the bathroom. I had to go. And he already been beaten up, taken outside. He had no shirt on, thrown into the snow, and Luchasaurus comes out with a Christian Cage. That mess had to be cold because in New York it's like in the 20s to the 30s out here. It ain't warm, so they had to feel it. So it was okay for both segments, but you wonder where they're going. Will it lead somewhere? Will it lead to Revolution, or are they going to end it on Rampage or Dynamite? You guys tell me below. Now, Nia Rose versus Ruby Soho. Now I gotta be honest here. I don't understand why that match happened. I don't. I don't hate Ruby Soho. I don't hate Nia Rose. But why did it have to happen? Why? I don't get it. I know what they booked it and presented it to us, but honestly, Ruby is floating. That's how it feels for me personally. She's not in the storyline. She was in the TBS title picture. She's not in it anymore. It's not like she's going after Britt Baker. That's Thunder Rosa unless they are going to book her to go after Britt Baker. Because she's not going after Jade Cargill, I believe. Jade is not going to lose for quite a while. And I doubt they're going to have her lose back-to-back. Ruby Soho to a Jade Cargill. So where is she going? I don't know. I just don't see anything for her right now. She looks like she's in filler. Because they haven't figured out what they want to do with her yet. Unless they are going after Britt Baker. Which then, what's going to happen with Thunder Rosa? And then we got Nia Rose. You can say a lot about Nia. She didn't do a bad job. But then you wonder what's going on with Nia. Will they do anything with Nia Rose? I'm not saying she's going after the TBS title. Please, no. You don't need Nia Rose going up against a Jade Cargill on a Dynamite or Rampage. I'm not saying that she's one of the greatest workers. No, but she's a former champion that should not be doing this on a Dynamite or a Rampage. It should be for a Revolution. They should build up into it. I'm not saying it's going to be a great build because, let's be honest, Nia has not been presented much on Dynamite or Rampage much. And then you got Jade Cargill, who must win. But then, as a very green wrestler, you want to protect her because you know she has draw. Does she have ring work? Not that great. She's a very powerful wrestler. She's very strong, but she's still not great in the ring yet. But she draws, and they're banking on that, and that's why they're doing it. So I do not see, no, unless they're going to throw Thunder Rosa out of Jade Cargill, I don't see it. I'm just saying. Now, let's get this over with, guys, because this is where it gets interesting. You got Penta and Pac versus the House of Black, which is the Kings of the Black Throne. I'm glad I remembered that because I was really worried I was going to forget, unless I'm saying it wrong. Was this a good match? It was good. I was not surprised that the Kings of the Black Throne won. Penta gets sprayed in the face with a miss. But here's the thing. I would have liked them to wait. Honestly. This is what I think is going to happen. I'm hoping. You're going to have Pac go up against Malachi Black at the pay-per-view, and there must be a stipulation. Stipulation is this. Pac must have a stipulation that if he faces Malachi, if he loses, he becomes a member of the House of Black. They need it because they need to do something due to the fact that Rey Fenix is still out. It's going to take a while before his elbow fully heals. So they got to do something with Pac. And they got to do something with Penta. Penta's not going to be there for a little bit because of the miss. So it makes sense. But they got to do something with Pac and Malachi. I'm just saying. Finally, he was willing to job. And that is MJF versus CM Punk. It started at, almost 9:26, 9:28. And it lasted all the way up until 10 o'clock. And I watched it. It was a good match. But then I'm thinking, dude, this is not like Daniel Bryan with a Kenny Omega or Adam Page. This is not it. And I'm thinking maybe this match is a little too long. At least until the Chicago crowd made it good. Because if there was no cheering from the Chicago crowd, this match would have been dragged out way too long. And even though it gave a good story where CM Punk's arm actually, and left leg were completely incapacitated and he could not do it and he was selling pretty well. And also MJF with his neck. You just think it's too long because if the crowd was not as enthusiastic as they were, this would have never worked. This would have been too long and wouldn't have worked. No matter how much we love MJF, it was too long with CM Punk without participation from the crowd. And the crowd was well done. It was done well. And at the end, MJF cheated like he normally does. He got the Dynamite ring. And Punk jobs. Now, mind you, before that, when he was almost getting choked out, I'm sure a lot of people are saying, what? He is choked out and he basically he's out. It's what, 9:35, 9:25, 9:35, 9:33, and then the ref continues the match because he caught MJF. That was okay spot. It was fine. But I will say, without the fans, this would have never worked. I'm sorry. As much as I love MJF, and I do love him, and I'm glad to see that CM Punk is still pretty damn good in the ring. He ain't great, but he's damn good. That would have been too long. So this was a good show. Got confusion a little bit. You wonder what's going on with Rhea Soho. You want to know what's going on with Nia Rose. She ain't a hoe. She's a rose. You wonder what's going to happen with Brandy signing off on her being belittled and sexified and her titties being talked about, and Dan Lambert's own scandals, of course, being brought out as well because they did a little bit of honesty. it's will this work with her dealing with a, what is the girl's name? Paige Mazanin, Menz, Menzin. I can't remember her name. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. Just, you wonder where it's going. This was an okay show. It was good. I don't know if it was great, but it's good. And I hope you enjoyed the Zane's View. Please give me a comment below. And I have my Gump Report recorded. I will release either tomorrow or Friday. And it will have the scandal of the Royal Rumble and the ratings of Impact Wrestling. Yes, I'm going there. I got the rating information. I'm not going to leave it in a comment. I will give my thoughts about it. Well, I botched in it. I got the ratings a little mixed up a little bit because I was getting quite upset about it because it was kind of pissing me off. So I hope you don't mind seeing a little pissed off Zane trying to explain about the ratings of Impact Wrestling when I made the video. Peace.